okay. I'm glad to be here.
How are you doing today?
I'm all right. I'm
Good.
doing well, yeah.
So I want to find out everything about your journey so far. Tell me a bit more about yourself. Were you born in Ghana or Australia?
I was actually born in Australia. I was born in Paddington, Australia. I lived over there till I was about 5 years old, and then I moved to Ghana.
Oh, so you've lived here before?
I have, yeah.
Wow.
With my dad and not my mom, just my dad and my brother.
Okay.
And then we lived here till I was about 17.
Oh, wow.
And then I moved back again.
Oh, okay.
So I've lived my life half and half, both in Ghana and Sydney as well, yeah.
Wow. So how was the experience from 5 to 17? What was that like?
I feel like I don't remember much from when I was born because I was so young at the time.
Yeah.
I only remembered, all my childhood memories are in Ghana.
I don't
really remember much from when I was in Sydney. But it's definitely still been a transition because I left, I'm 31 now.
Oh, wow.
So it's been like a long time since I've been away. So the culture is different.
Everything's changed.
Yeah, just having to relearn everything again.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
So you went to school up until you were 17.
That's
what
right.
was that experience like?
It was really good.
Really?
I loved Ghana, like when I lived here. But then at the time, there was nothing to compare it to.
Right.
Because I didn't remember any of the life that I had
back
over
then.
in Sydney.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I can't complain. Like I had a lot of friends. Things were good at home. I was well taken care of.
That's
so
good.
yeah, it was really good.
So living there, did you know that you would always come back, or you would just really go with the flow?
I feel like from the day that I arrived in Sydney, even when I was 17, I just had this feeling that I'll be back.
It wasn't
Ghana.
the same.
It wasn't
really.
I just knew I'll be back. I didn't know what it would look like. I didn't know when it was gonna happen. But I just
someday,
knew,
you'll find your way back.
That's it.
That's amazing.
It.
So how long have you been here so far?
So I officially moved on the 31st of December. So I arrived in Ghana on the 31st. So I must have left on the 29th or something, because Australia is like
journey is a long journey.
Yeah. Australia is like a world of its own.
Right, literally.
So yeah, I arrived on the 31st of December. So it's been just a little over 10 months since I've been here now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how's everything been? Because I know COVID came and it's just been different for everyone.
Yeah.
So how has it been adjusting to the system and having to adjust to the system whilst COVID is around?
Yeah. I think for me, it was very unexpected, obviously, the whole COVID thing. But because I have a little bit of family, like my extended family is still here.
Okay.
So I do have that kind of family support. So that made things a lot smoother for me.
Right.
Like I spent the whole lockdown in their house.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to be by myself.
Of course, yeah.
You know, so that part was a little bit easy for me. And I know we're going to talk about this later, but I've always had YouTube as my hobby that I did. And, you know, that wasn't really affected by COVID. If anything, COVID helped it.
Yeah. So it gave you more time to make more content.
Exactly. And I had more people watching as well because more people were at home.
Of course.
So that has always been my kind of escape, I guess, having YouTube as my hobby. So
let's talk about YouTube since we're on the subject of YouTube. Sure. So I know you were doing YouTube before you moved. As you moved to Ghana, was that always the plan to continue documenting your journey, or when you got here you thought that there was a market for that here? How did that come about?
Okay, so I've always done YouTube as a hobby. I did it for years when I was in Sydney, but that time it was more about my career in social work over in Sydney. But when I moved over here, I planned on continuing to document, because every now and again when I come to Ghana, I'll do like a Ghana vlog type thing. So it was just meant to be like a documentation of my experiences.
Here and there.
It was never meant to be like a proper job where it's all structured and like I have days where I upload and days where I don't upload and like have like a co-worker working with me. It was never meant to be like that. It was just meant to be a little fun thing that I did on the side. But people really enjoyed my content, so it just kind of blew out of nowhere.
It's amazing. We need to see more videos like that, so we can bring people back.
For sure. I agree. And I think there's space for a lot of people that want to get into that.
So you do YouTube. What else do you do? How else are you managing your time as you're here?
So I also run a business on the side. I sell handmade natural skincare and hair care. That was something that I was doing over in Sydney as well, just on the side. I was just selling online within Australia. So I just continued to do that. And initially that was meant to be my main source of income when I was moving to Ghana.
So that was your plan?
That was my plan. Like I wanted to have a shop or a salon, something along those lines, where I sold it.
Okay.
But then YouTube kind of took over my life. So it's kind of hard to have both. It's just going to be like, that's going to be my side project now. But yeah, that's still going. So I ship worldwide, all online. I don't have a physical shop yet, but if you're in Ghana, you can easily just send me an email or a message or whatever, and we can organize for it to be dispatched.
That's amazing. Yeah. Wow. So the process, do you structure your day? So YouTube on these days, business on this day, or business is every day?
Business is every day. I try to structure it, but it's a little bit tricky, especially with the kind of content that I do now. A lot of the time I do like a day in the life of somebody. So depending on what their routine is like and what day they're happy for me to come and film, I have to make time for them. So in the end, sometimes I have like a day where I'm working from morning all the way till nighttime, and I have a day where I don't have anything on. So it's just kind of, it's hard to plan. It's really hard to plan. Like I do have, so generally Wednesdays are my business days. Okay. But sometimes YouTube.
It changes. Wow. So in terms of doing the day in the life with people here, how do you go about finding them? How do you go about communicating to them exactly what you want to do with them? Because I know YouTube, people wouldn't really understand like what YouTube is. What do you mean you want to follow me? What do you mean you want to record me? So is it normally someone that you know, or someone you know that knows the person that helps you to get that link? How does that work?
So the very first person that I filmed, I knew someone who knew her, so that made it a little bit easier. And she was very warm as well. Like as soon as I told her it was a thing that I was doing, she was like, she has no idea what that is, so I should tell her kids, and they can explain to her. So I did that. And that was easy. But from then on, almost everybody that I've asked, like at least 70% of the time, I'm told no.
Oh, you're told no?
Yeah. They're like, no, I'm not doing it. Wow. Like, you know, they're like, oh,
too invasive.
Like, they don't know what's going to happen with the video.
They don't want their face out there.
And you try to explain to them what it is and how beneficial it can be for their business and stuff like that. Some people are more open-minded than others, but generally speaking, there's still a lot of education to be done about social media and stuff like that. So it's not easy. I constantly have to tweak what I say. Generally, YouTubing isn't really a thing that a lot of people are aware of. But when you say blogger as well, they are aware of bloggers,
but not your type.
Exactly, and they have a lot of negative connotations associated with bloggers as well. So sometimes you don't really want to use the word blogger. So at a point in time, I was just saying, I'm just doing a little advert for small businesses through my social media.
That's better.
Exactly. So when they hear advert, they're like, oh, am I going to be on TV? And I'm like, oh, this is not TV. It's going to be on the internet. And then I find people are a little more understanding of that. But I keep having to tweak it because some people just don't understand.
Exactly. So in terms of communication, do you speak any Ghana languages?
I do.
You do?
I speak Twi quite fluently.
That's good. That's easy to communicate with people.
Absolutely.
No one can try and, you know, charge you more for something.
No, they do that all the time.
Really?
All the time.
I don't know what it is.
I don't think it makes a difference that you can speak Twi. And I think it depends on how you speak Twi as well.
But they can always tell that we're not from here.
Exactly. Because the way I speak Twi might be completely different to someone who's lived here all their life.
Of course.
So although I don't speak Twi with an accent, they can still pick up that.
Something. It's a bit different out there. Right. Where in Ghana are you from?
So my mom is from Kwewu, and my dad is a Cathryn.
Oh, nice.
So I think I'm from my mom's side, so I'm from Kwewu.
Oh, nice. Have you been there?
Yeah, when I was little.
Oh, when you were little?
Yeah,
when I was little. You haven't been there so far?
No, I haven't. I need to, though.
The mountains, I heard it's beautiful.
Apparently it's changed so much.
I'm yet to visit there.
Yeah.
And how do you intend on making a change as you're here? Because I know so many people have moved back, but there's also, because of your audience on YouTube, there's probably a lot of people that look up to you, or they want to see exactly what you're doing out there. So as you're here, as a young person from the diaspora, how do you intend on making a change?
I think for me, if you want to make a change, you don't necessarily need to, how do I put this? You don't necessarily need to come out and say, I'm here to change this particular thing. You need to achieve your own goals, and then you change people in the process, or you help others in the process. So when I was coming, it was meant to be like a personal sharing my journey on YouTube and stuff like that. It ended up inspiring so many other people who are wanting to move. That aside, when I started doing this whole day in the life thing, it was meant to be just a thing where I'm telling people about the real life of people living in Ghana, because I feel like it was very saturated with the touristy stuff and like the East Legons and the cantonments and stuff like that. So I just wanted to give people perspective about other parts of Ghana
and how they're living.
Exactly. But then, so it was never meant to be like a charity or anything like that. But in the end, a lot of people were like, oh, how do I help her purchase this? Because maybe through the interview, they might say they need something to make their business better. And then people are like, okay, how do I help this person?
Wow, so it's helping.
And now it's become a thing.
Change.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
So, and I feel like that's the approach a lot of people need to take. Rather than come in and say, I'm coming to change this, or I'm coming to help this person. Just change yourself, achieve your own goals.
Then the rest will follow.
Exactly. So long as they're all positive.
That's actually amazing. YouTube, internet is such a powerful tool.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very underestimated.
But with time, you know, it's going to get bigger.
That's right.
Amazing.
That's right.
So what advice would you give to someone who wants to move to Ghana, but they're not sure, they're struggling, they need that extra push? What would you say to them?
I think you need to think about why you want to move to Ghana. I think that's the biggest thing. That's the most important thing. If you understand why you want to move to Ghana, once you're here, when things get a little bit tough, when things are not necessarily going your way, you're able to keep things going. You're able to stay longer, stay with it, because you have like a clear goal ahead of you. Because there's little things that will come up, like, you know, the terrible roads and the electricity, traffic, all that stuff, you know. So if you understand why you're here, you should be okay. If you make a solid plan as well, that alleviates a lot of the worries that you might have as well. I mean, you can only plan to a certain level as well. There's a level of spontaneity that's required as well if you want to be here. So you have to be willing to take a little bit of a risk and be willing to leave some of the comforts behind, because in the West, there's a lot of comfort, but it's very empty comfort.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Because you're comfortable, but you always have this urge to do something more.
Of course.
So in order for that to happen, you have to be willing to let go of some of that.
And just take the extra leap, right?
Absolutely.
Word of encouragement for myself. Exactly. So I know you said that when you landed back in Sydney at 17 years old, you just knew that you're going to come back home. So as you grew older, what was the final push? What was the light bulb moment that made you say, do you know what, I'm going back to Ghana?
I feel like for me, there wasn't necessarily a light bulb moment. It was always just a process. I was just preparing myself and
I was always preparing
myself and getting ready to move. Like, I didn't start saving till maybe about 4 or 5 years before I left.
Oh, wow.
But then I knew I wanted to come. So hence why buying the home and starting to put money away and all that. Like, there was nothing drastic happened, to be honest. It was just like, I want to go. I'm going to make it happen at a point in time. Right now, I feel like I'm ready. There's nothing holding me back. I'm not married. I'm not having babies. Like, I don't have anything.
But your career, though, you were a social worker, right? Was it difficult leaving that career?
Not really.
Not really?
No.
You were tired of it?
I wasn't tired of it. I feel like I'm designed to be a social worker,
basically.
So that's the job I needed to do. But I also know that there's certain heights that I need to get to that I just can't get to in the West.
Of course.
It's in Ghana that I can reach those heights. And therefore, I had to come. Oh, wow. So the social work part of me will always be a part of me. That job was really, really good. I worked with the government, so I was paid quite well and all that. But I just knew it was time to move on, because at a point in time, you kind of know your job, but you're not really learning anything new. You're kind of doing the same thing over and over again. It was kind of empty for me.
How many years were you doing that for?
I did that for 6 years.
6 years? That's a long time. So that's it for social work for now?
Oh, no. Well, no. I probably won't go work for an organization like I did previously, but I feel like what I'm doing now, there's still social worker values in what I do now. So that's probably how it's going to continue, even though I'm going to continue on the entrepreneurship part.
That's amazing. So you want to have your career and helping people as well as your business. That's amazing. So are you planning to add more businesses, or you're seeing how this one goes? Yeah,
for now, like, there's so much I want to do.
So much, right?
So much, but my time is so limited. And I'm like tired 24/7. 24/7.
And you're only one person.
It's only one person. Like now I have a second person that's helping me out, but he's only helping with the YouTube side of things. So I'm still the only person managing my skincare, hair care business. Exactly. And in Ghana as well, even though you have someone working for you, you have to keep an eye on everything. So it feels like you're still working by yourself. So how's that been, like working with actual Ghanaians that live here? How is it? Because we come from the Western world, so our mentality is, if you want something next week Tuesday, it's next week Tuesday at this time. So how is it working with people here? Because also you have to adjust to how they are as well, because it may take them a bit longer to adjust to our way. So how do you deal with that? I think you just need a lot of patience. You need to be very understanding. You need to know that they just don't know. You just got to teach them. And a lot of the time you can't assume that anything is common sense. Like, you have to tell them everything. Like, and I think that's the biggest thing for me. Like why don't you know why don't you just do this? You know, but you learn that you just have to teach them, and over time they pick up and it gets better. But you just need a lot of patience. Don't assume anything is common sense, and you should be okay.
I also find that people here, they're stuck in their ways. So if that's how they're going to do things, that's how they're going to do things. But I guess if someone, like you're saying, if you're there to teach them, show them through, then, you know, they will eventually adjust to your ways.
And that's something you need to consider when you're hiring people. I think you need to look at like people that are at least open to listening to you, because what you're saying is true. But luckily, like the people that I've worked with so far, I haven't experienced that, but I've heard stories like that a lot. That would be very difficult to work with. So that would be something to be mindful of.
It's true. So what are the things that you love about Ghana? There's two things you love about Ghana.
I love the food.
What's your favorite food?
Banku and okra. Banku and okra with like all kinds of meat in it.
Mix it all together.
And the other thing I like about it is I'm able to have work-life balance to some extent. I feel like in the West, I wasn't even working for myself, but it was so hard to have that, because even on my days off, I feel like I'm still working. It was just never ending.
It's true.
But here, I'm able to have a balance, so I really enjoy that.
Wake up, well, not necessarily when you want, because everyone here...
No, I don't wake up when I want.
Everyone here wakes up early anyway. Someone will wake you up. But at least you can go to sleep feeling like you've done most of the things on your checklist. Whereas I feel like when I'm back in London, when I'm sleeping, I still have things to do, and it carries on to the next day. Like I never stop to relax, and it's like, oh, okay. So you don't feel that way being here?
No. And with the funny thing is, I actually work longer hours being in Ghana now, because I work for myself. But I still feel
because you're doing what you enjoy.
Exactly.
So it's not draining.
Like more relaxed and stuff like that in comparison to being in the West.
So as well as the things you like, what are the things that you wish you could see a change?
Okay, I think one of the biggest things for me is the roads. Like, I live, because I just bought my place. Like, it's not on a tarred road, so the roads are like still rough with the dirt and stuff like that. I wish they were done, because sometimes when it rains, I'm actually anxious driving on there.
It's terrible. It's so terrible.
I think that's one of the biggest things for me. The other thing is, the other thing, I have no idea. I feel like there's a lot of petty things that annoy me, but they're not enough to make me feel like I'm going to leave Ghana or anything like that. I think the biggest thing for me is the roads. Other
than that, you're fine. Okay, the sun is there.
Exactly.
You can't complain.
Good food.
Exactly. You don't have to wear a jacket or boots
exactly.
or anything like that. Exactly. So, that's amazing. Is there anything you do miss about Sydney though?
I do miss being able to just get up and go out to the shops and just say, I need a new dress for this party, and just buy it. You know, that was super easy to do over there. But over here, I feel like it's kind of hard. Like, the shops that you can just walk into are just overpriced. The only other option will be maybe go on Instagram and try and find something.
That's true.
But that, you don't get to see it before you buy it. And so it's just a longer process. You know, it comes and then you try it, it's not the right fit, and it's just long. I wish there was like a decent price shopping center where I could just walk into and find some nice clothes. And I miss my family as well, because my brother,
your family are not here with you.
My brother and my mom are over there. So and I have a little niece as well. She's only 1.
So you've missed.
I do miss her. Nice. But other than that, I mean, I feel like I can go back whenever.
You can always go back. Exactly.
So, yeah.
So you said you've bought a house and you've got a car. How did you go about doing those things?
Okay, so buying a house, I bought that a couple of years back before moving. So that I just got a friend who kind of knew a few agents that show properties and stuff like that. So he helped me basically through the process. I feel like I couldn't have done it on my own.
Okay.
So a lot of the viewings and stuff like that, he's the one that helped me. He was just contacting agents here and
Whilst you were in Sydney?
I actually came to Ghana.
I
was on holiday in Ghana. I was here for 6 weeks. And the whole 6 weeks I dedicated to trying to find something. So yeah, it was just some viewings, and then we ended up finding a place that was available through a real estate agency, and that's where we ended up purchasing. I just felt like it felt safer doing it through an agency than through an individual.
That's good.
Just because I've never had any experience buying a home before, so it wasn't too bad. The only issues I had was sometimes with agents, like sometimes you go and see a property and they don't even have keys to it. And so that tends to happen a lot. You're still required to pay them because they had to get
They have to come all the way. Yeah, of course. So that can be frustrating.
That was the only issue. Other than that, because I had a helping hand, it really helped out a lot.
Oh, wow.
And with the car as well, I considered shipping in a car because I feel like I'm likely to get something that hasn't been used too much and stuff like that. But when I thought about the shipping and the clearing, it just gets so expensive. And then there's all these extras that they ask for that you just don't even understand. So I ended up just purchasing one here. So that was the same. I went to a few car yards. I spoke to a few individuals that were selling their own car. I tested a few with my mechanic. So I had 2 different mechanics that tested the one that I finally ended up buying. So, yeah, that was pretty simple. And then just paid and it was mine. So we went to the DVLA, I think that's what it's called. To make sure that the papers were coordinating with the car and all that. And once that was done, I ended up purchasing it.
So did you get the house first and then the car, or you got the house
so the
first?
car I only got this year. And the house was 5 years ago.
5 years ago, wow. But you moved in when you came this time. And is it in an area that you've always wanted to live in, or not?
No. The area, I want to live in Cathryn.
Really?
And the houses over there
they're
are
beautiful. They are beautiful.
But they're so expensive. There's no way I could afford that. So this is a like a stepping stone kind of thing for me.
Buying a house is big anyway, no matter where you are. So the fact that you've done it, and you have a car as well to get from A to B, so it's fine.
And it's a decent location. Like it's not too far to get to Accra, to get to Tema and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. Like it's not too bad. But if you were asking me about my dream location, it's definitely Cathryn.
Okay, girl. In 2 years we'll come back and then we'll ask how the Cathryn house is going. That's great. So from this conversation, I've heard you say a lot about speaking to people, reaching out to people, using people to help you. What advice would you give to someone that wants to come back? Would you tell them to utilize people or do it on their own? How would you advise them?
I think absolutely get help where you can. If you're coming from the diaspora, you've never lived in Ghana before, you don't really know what Ghana is like, you don't know how Ghana operates, you're better off trying to find like a trustworthy person and trying to get them to help you. But at the same time, you need to be mindful of who that person is as well. It can't just be anybody.
So if it's family or close friends, then that would help. That's amazing. So they've really helped you. I can tell.
100%. Definitely.
That's good.
Having that made a massive difference. If I was coming to do it on my own, it probably would have taken
a bit
longer time.
But I guess as you're here, you're putting yourself out there, you're still meeting people, but it's true what you said, you can't trust anybody. It takes a while for you to, know what people's intentions are. So be wary and everything. That's great. Well, Jasmine, it has been a pleasure speaking with you. I'm really happy to hear about your experience. Keep up all the hard work.
Thank you.
You've been amazing.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No problem. So everybody, that was it from me and Jasmine Amma. I hope you've enjoyed the conversation and I hope you've taken notes from all the advice Jasmine has given to us. Thank you and see you next time on Find Your Way Back.
I remember my grandma gives me this story of she used to make shito, and from a young young age, I would always like taste some of it. And you know, shito's meant to be hot.
Yeah.
But then regardless,
it wasn't hot for you.
It wasn't hot for me. And I was always eating it.
Yeah.
So till this day, if for example I'm getting wache, it's only with shito.
No stew.
I prefer shito to stew any time of the day. Yeah. So it's my favorite sauce.